Good morning. And I think field work we can pretty much chalk up to being officially over. And I expect my, frozen solid. So it was minus 12 all night. Oh. And that's going to be it. It's just too hard on the equipment to work the frozen ground like that. Haven't been over here yet, but I wanted to check out the shed. These guys have been progressing along fairly rapidly and doing a heck of a job, I would say. So this is our shed that we're building. It's 54 by 100 by 20 feet tall to get some of this newer equipment in. We aren't going to put a door on this. It's never going to be a shop or anything. And we wanted the entrance, the opening, as big as possible. So we'll be able to drive our 30-foot headers in here without taking them off in the fall if it starts to rain. We used to have a coverall, and we really like that coverall for that reason. It was the coverall was up by the bins, but if it was raining, we could just run the combines home and drive them right in without taking a header off. As it sits now, we got to take one header off back and drive that combine in, and then back the other combine in to our to the shed over there. So this will be good. Also, I mean, doors are really only for security, right? And that shed is like right, well, you can't see, but it's right by the trailer, and it's right by the shop. So there will always be someone here. Yesterday I was out. We floated the yard. So if you don't do this now, when it comes time to plow the snow in the winter, and you just you're clipping along because there's 3 or 4 inches of snow and you can go pretty quick. This is the tractor we use to plow the snow as well. You'll be cruising along, and then you'll hit about a 6-inch ridge of mud, and you'll go, because I don't ever put the seatbelt on. You'll go out of the seat, over the steering wheel, and into the radio, and bust off the button. That will happen. Ask me how I know. I'm glad I did, because it's pretty well, at minus 12, the mud and the dirt pretty much turns into solid concrete or whatever, and it just doesn't smooth out very well. So we got that yesterday. We also moved our hammer mill out, unfloated where it was sitting, cleaned up underneath of it. I'm not going to use I don't even know where I put it, my other roller mill. I'm not going to use that anymore. I got a new roller mill from the neighbor, so that's what we're going to use in place of this. Right now I'm going to set this back up because I got to roll some I got to hammer some grain for a lady. The guy wants to pick it up today at about 2 o'clock. So I'm going to get this all set up again and get hammering that grain. It is October 31st, though. It is Halloween. Corey and the kids just went off to her parents. They're going to visit some people over there. It is only what is it? 9:45, so this is a little early for trick-or-treating, but they got lots of ground to cover, so they may as well go get started. I can make these bags, get everything set up, and then we'll see what the evening will bring. Well, my first fear was confirmed. So yeah, minus 13 overnight. Didn't have that tractor plugged in. It won't start. And I assume the starter in it must be getting weak, maybe drawing too much amps. I'll have to clean it all up, because this 44, they're both 4440s, and I think they're probably pretty close to the same year. This one might actually be a year or two older. And this one fires just like a champ. So I do give them, it spins over way faster and starts. And then this other one, it spins over really slow, and you can kind of see it heating up right at the starter, and the starter solenoid. So I guess drawing too many amps, I guess, is what the situation is there. I'll try it one more time here. Nothing. Goose egg. Well, time for some booster cables. I'm no stranger to that. All right, she's up and running now. One thing I do, and it's because this stays so stationary, like I don't feed with this mill. you know, it was kind of a thing. It was designed, you could mix it and then you could drive around and auger it right into your feeders. But I always move it because the angle from the PTO shaft over to here, as you can see, it's not totally straight. And yeah, it's got universal joints in it, but I just moved the tractor over so it's straight. And hopefully we can save on a little bit of whatever, friction, I guess. So I'm gonna move that over. It with this jack down, it doesn't shake, or there's no risk of it flipping over or anything. So I'll get that done. I'll get that little auger, put it into the hammer mill part here. These I leave off. Looks like I got the right screen in there already. I grind through this really small screen here. This works. These hammers, they just spin around at 1,000,000 miles an hour, beat up the grain. I switched them once already. You get four chances with them. So that's how worn down they were. If you look at that one, it's really, you know, it's supposed to be a sharp edge like this. So I flipped them once, and now they're wearing down on this side, and then I'll flip them again. And I do have a whole new set of hammers too. I got those done at Monkman Machining. He's the guy, he fixes everything for me now. I didn't even realize how important that was to know a machinist, but he built me a new set of hammers. He built this whole shaft here broke. It broke right at the shear pin spot there, and he built that whole shaft. He built that big plate there. There used to be a thin little piece of junk, and I think that's why it broke, because it was wobbling. And then the shaft cracked. He's also the one that regrooves the rollers in the rollers for me, so I don't have to ship them out, because shipping those is expensive. Mill's running. I'm gonna fuel up this backhoe. I had a guy order 2 totes, 1,400 pounds each of molasses, so I'll make those too. But when I moved that mill yesterday, and you would have noticed in the videos if you were watching, there's always a bunch of grain dust and stuff under that mill, and we didn't put the guard on in the front around the PTO shaft because air was escaping out of that blower, and we didn't really know where. Dad tried like 3 or 4 times with to seal it up, weld it, put putty or silicone or something on there, and we thought we had it. I tried like 3 or 4 times and still didn't get it. So when I fired it up this time before it was running, I kind of stuck my head in there, and oh yeah, I can see now there's a big split, and I'm not actually sure where that split come from. Most likely it's from some of the putty we used was expanding, you know, like spray foam and stuff like that. We didn't use spray foam, but some of that stuff does expand. So I expect that what happened, we put some in there and it got into the crack and then went like, and then opened it up a bit more. So not a big deal. I'll get some silicone on there. I got to clean it up first because there's grain dust all around it, so nothing will stick, but I'll do that. And while that's hammering, I will get my roller hooked up to that little 430 case, and hopefully, I'm excited because that should go just way faster, right? I mean, I had a 10-inch roller and now I got an 18-inch roller, so it should be like 18 times faster. That's just simple math. Well, good afternoon. So I got the couple bags I had to make, and then a guy ordered some totes, but he only wanted 1,400 pounds in them, so I'm just filling those now. And I got to thinking I should, we're pretty much done here with our setting up for the molasses. So that was kind of a little bit of an endeavor to get into it. We had to get a whole bunch of these totes. We've bought about 75 of them to this point. We had to buy those tanks, build that platform, rig up some sort of a pump. Fortunately, we had that pump on the shelf. and it works really well. It is a little slow for people that want to fill their own totes, but it's not the end of the world either. And at this point, once we get a few more tons of molasses sold and it looks like it's kind of catching on again up here in the piece, then we'll look at getting a bigger pump to fill them faster. But we you know, we have all these ones full. There's 2,600 pounds in each tote. They're all labeled and numbered, so we can keep track of them out there, because we do charge a deposit on them. But at this point, I would say you know, it's working pretty well for just rigging it up kind of on a whim, I guess. The one thing we did run into an issue was that platform scale. We put those black checker plate pieces under them, but they had a little bit of a bend, a bow in them from sitting crooked for like years and years and years. And those scales have to be solid. So what we ended up doing was we just made four pads and set that up on there, then got it level, and now it works great. And then I slid them off of there, and that actually works good too, because when you know, when you're pulling those totes up, it saves you having to lift them up that extra 6-8 inches. So